Hi guys, Christ is in our midst and Christ is risen. I want to address the second question that I got in a message a couple days ago. The first one was about the second commandment. So this is a continuation of me answering those questions as best as I can. This question was about saints. It was about how is it possible for people on earth to know who is a saint and who isn't? How is it that people can make saints? Doesn't that power belong only to God? And isn't it highly unlikely that we would have any idea who those saints are? Very good questions. Okay, first, you're absolutely right. Man does not make saints. What a saint is a saint is somebody who is shining with that light of God, of Christ. It's the uncreated light of Mount Tabor. It's their sanctity is not because of who they are. It's because they have gotten out of the way and let God rule their hearts. Which is what we're all supposed to do, by the way. Be holy, for I, your Father in heaven, am holy, right? We're not all going to find our faces on icons. We're not all going to find ourselves listed in hagiographies, Lives of the Saints. But we are all called to strive to strive relentlessly for holiness by God's grace. Now, the issue with how are we going to know who's a saint and who isn't? Here's the thing. God is not a sadistic puppet master. I'm not being sarcastic, by the way. He's not a sadistic puppet master. So it's obvious, really. He does not hide this information from us. Because what is a saint? A saint shines with his light, and a saint, we look up to that saint not as a god. They're not gods. They're people. They're not perfect. They're not infallible. But they are like luminaries, like little lamps on the path of salvation. Now, that path of salvation was forged by Christ on the cross of Calvary. So he is all about having people help other people to realize that. And having people live holy lives so that we can try to emulate them and we can try to follow in their footsteps, so to speak. So, because God, again, John 3:16, God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him, right? Hopefully you know that. John 3:16. Okay. Because he loves humankind and he desires our repentance. God does not desire the death of a sinner, but that he be converted and live. He is ecstatic when he has a saint. When somebody says, all right, Lord, take the wheel. Jesus, take the wheel, right? Take the wheel. I'm throwing my lot in with you. Because then that person begins to have a godly effect on not only, in their own family, in their own church, but throughout the world. I mean, you never know when you're going to be affected by one of these people when you meet them. You might not realize it for 20 years. And maybe you'll never realize it. But the point is, saints are like these luminaries that we use to stay on the proper path, because they illuminate it for us. Now, I think it was yesterday, the Roman Catholic Church canonized, that means made a saint officially, Pope John Paul II, and another deceased pope whose name escapes me at the present moment. Now, I am not a Roman Catholic. I am an Orthodox Christian. I do talk about Catholicism a lot, though, because the prison ministry group, of which I am a member, was founded by a Catholic parish in town. So that's one reason. Number two is, of course, Orthodoxy and Catholicism have 1,000 years of common history together, followed by 1,000-year, my priest calls it a family feud. But fortunately, we're coming back gradually, but it is happening. We are kind of coming back into having better relationship between the two of us. So I have a deep respect for Roman Catholicism. In the Catholic Church, there's this formulaic process that happens when somebody passes away. In order for them to be made a saint, they have to have a certain number of criteria met, including miracles that are examined by the Vatican and are decided that, yes, that's a miracle, and that is what's wrought through the prayers of this specific saint. Okay. We have a different approach, which is to say it's not a trickle down. It's kind of a building up approach. So the veneration of a saint, and it is not worship, it's veneration, begins at the local level. It begins with the people who knew that person. It begins with their parish. It begins with their diocese. Okay. And then, if it's meant to be, that movement will start to pick up a little bit of steam. And eventually, people will go to either their parish priest or maybe directly to the bishop, but probably to the priest first. And then if the priest agrees, yeah, there's some serious holiness going on here, he's going to take it to his bishop. Not just his bishop, it's everyone's bishop. And then if and when the bishop concurs, he will take it to the metropolitan, who in the United States, in the Orthodox Church in America, is the first among equals of the Synod of Bishops. He's not a pope. He cannot act unilaterally. He's not perfect. He is not infallible. None of that. But he is the guy. The guy. Now, sorry, my eye is killing me. My husband has pink eye, so I probably should not be scratching my eye like a boss. Anyway. So, in Orthodoxy, I love how I get derailed by eye pain. In Orthodoxy, when a person is formally glorified as a saint, after that entire process that I just explained, they're going to have some hymns written about them, and there will be an official service. Starts with a memorial service called a panechida, and then there will be usually vespers and then matins. And at the end of that service, that person is officially glorified as a saint, and they get a feast day. Now, this is our calendar. This is the April version. Just look at it. You don't have to really read it, but just, do you see how many saints are commemorated on each day? Look at that. It's crazy. It's off the chain. Okay? Now, you see some of them have little pictures. Those are the big ones. Those are the big feasts. Like, we've got Easter on there. We've got Palm Sunday. Got the feast of Saint Great Martyr George on the 23rd. He has his own little photo. You know, there's a hierarchy of important days. But once you are officially glorified as a saint, you have your own feast day. Now, that being said, guess what? We are all called to be saints in God's eyes. There's this beautiful line. I love this so much. And of course, it's skipping my memory right now as to what feast this is from. But it talks about something like, glory to thee for thy saints throughout all the ages. Those venerated by us, meaning the faithful, and those known only to God. I love that. So you're absolutely right, original question asker. We don't make saints, God makes saints. But he doesn't make us flail about in the dark to figure out who they are. And it also, by the way, it does not mean that it doesn't mean that they are the only people who got it right. We're all supposed to imitate them. And our imitation should be because we are unspeakably grateful to God, and we acknowledge not only his manifold blessings in our lives, but we acknowledge the undeserved offer of salvation that is freely offered for us if we'll just accept it and get with the program. So we need to, our holiness should come from that desire. which also produces more holiness. It's a cycle. It should not be motivated by the desire to have your face on an icon, or to have people like you, or to have people respect you, whatever. Because that's really not about God anymore, So anyway, I hope that made a little bit of sense. We just have kind of it's a more holistic way of viewing the issue. Anyway, so saints, God makes them, we venerate them. All right. Well, let's see. It's about 11 in the morning, and I am actually on my way to court. You know how, once every 10 days I pop on here and I go, well, I'm supposed to go to court. Well, today I'm supposed to be going to court again. If this is canceled the third time, I'm going to freak out. It's not even my trial. I'm just testifying. But, it's, I feel sympathetically very nervous for the defendant in this case. So, anyway, I'll let you know if it happens, and if it does happen, how it goes. In the meantime, thank you so much, so very much, for watching and subscribing and commenting. Please continue to do that. Please continue to hit the like button. It's helping. It's awesome. It's spreading the viewer base a little bit, and that's just terrific. So thank you so much. Please keep praying for me. I will keep praying for you. We are going to get through this sojourn on earth together, and God bless you all. I'll see you in the next clip. Off to court. Bye.